Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to fix your webinar no-show rate for good. Okay, it's going to be a pretty short and sweet video. I'm going to go through 5 practices right here, 5 systems that you can implement to fix your no-shows for good. Now, if you're running a webinar, you're probably running a similar structure to this. I'm going to make a separate video on this structure. Either a once a month or a once a week webinar, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night to book a call, because all we talk about on this channel is high ticket info product businesses that run webinar and VSL and challenge funnels. But back to our best practices here. So the first thing that you can implement in order to fix your no-shows is an organic ad strategy. So what most people do is they just run cold traffic, direct response ads to a webinar registration page, and for a VSL funnel. By the way, that's what most people do. But what people should do instead is run organic ads that goes to a profile, or you take them through a series of organic ads, let's say 3 separate videos that you force people through before they get hit with any direct response. And for your direct response, you can target video views if they watched X percentage of your organic videos, profile visitors, profile and post engagers, and followers. So that's where we actually run all our direct response. But for extremely high spend webinars that, we spend $20,000 to $80,000 on a webinar, you need to tap into cold audiences. But for smaller webinars and VSL funnels, we always recommend that you only run direct response to people who have already seen your content. So what an organic ad strategy is you basically target cold, and you have educational content with follower CTA, and then in your middle funnel ads, that's where you target followers, engagers, profile visitors, etc., with your direct response. Now, as I just said, this is most applicable to people who run smaller webinars and VSL funnels. But if you're running, like I said, spending tens of thousands of dollars, you're going to run an ad of these warm audiences incredibly quick, and you need to have or run to cold audiences. Then the second thing is a propaganda ad strategy. Now, what that is let's see, it's a custom audience. A rotating custom audience that people are in for 7 days. So in your email autoresponder or in Zapier or in Go High Level, you can have a step that automatically, when people enters the automation, they get added into a custom audience, and then after 7 days you can remove it. But you need to have at least 100 people in this audience for the campaign to spend. That's why I recommend that you have, for a webinar, you have all the registrations for the webinar. Everyone who registered gets put into this custom audience, and then you target those people. You target the custom audience, and you need at least 100 people. It's going to be an engagement campaign optimizing for video views and through plays. You have 1 ad per ad set, 30 to 50 long form, 20 to 30 30 to 50 short form, and 20 to 30 long form. And you want at least a 15 to 20 frequency within a 72-hour window. What this does, it basically forces everyone who registered to get pushed through to like 50 different pieces of content, of view, of value, education, social proof, objection handling, etc., before they even show up on the webinar. That's going to increase your show rate dramatically, but it's also going to increase your closing rate as well. So that's something I recommend everyone implements who runs webinars. And then the third thing is a solid webinar confirmation page, number 1. So the confirmation page for your webinar should have a headline: "Thank you for registering. Your registration is not yet confirmed." And then watch the video to complete the next steps. And then you have a video that hypes them up for the webinar. You have a free community that they get added into. You also have an addevent.com button that when people press that, they can add the event to their calendar of choice, whether that's Outlook, Apple, Yahoo, whatever. So they will get reminders natively on their devices as well. And then on the confirmation page, you have social proof, and specifically an about you section, which teaches them a little bit more about you. And then you have email and SMS sequence. I recommend you to send way more emails and SMSs than you could think of. If we take a look at Shelby Zapp's webinar funnel, I recently did an audit of her entire funnel, so feel free to go to my channel and watch that video if you want. She does about $2 million a month with this funnel. That's an estimation. She maybe do 1 million or 4 million, but it's at least over $1 million a month. And if you look at her sequences, you can see that she has an instant confirmation sequence. Then she has her own confirmation or instant confirmation email from Zoom with an SMS. And then she has an SMS or an email, confirmation email, and then another one with more info. And I'm not going to go into the specific here, but you see 12 hours before, 8 hours before she sends an SMS, 7 hours before an email, 4 hours before an SMS, 1 hour before email and 2 emails and 1 SMS, 15 minutes before SMS, 10 minutes before, 5 minutes before she goes live, 6 minutes after, an email 8 minutes after, SMS 12 minutes after, and an email 14 minutes after. Okay, so feel free to copy this sweet sequence. You really need this in order to maximize your show ups, because people don't really care when your webinar is unless you had the back-end strategies to hype them up, of course, but people forget. People have other shit. People have social media. They have their families. They have a football game. They have movies. They have all these other attention graspers that to many people are more important than your webinar. So make sure to have that in place. And then lastly, we have the closer SOPs. Now, this is not really applicable to no-show rates for a webinar, but for no-show rates to your sales calls after the webinar, it's very applicable. So I'm just going to run you straight through those real quick. So for high-ticket webinars, I recommend that you do have an application as the call to action on the webinar. And then after the application, they can also book a sales call. And to maximize the show-up rates on the sales call, that's where you have the setters call everyone within 1 hour, and they qualify them. And then, so they call all the applications that didn't book themselves in to qualify them and try to book them on calls. And they call all the bookings to qualify them. So every single call that's on the closer's calendar is confirmed and qualified. And for the closers, they send a text night before the call. And then they also send another text the morning of. And then a selfie video the morning of the call as well, with some of the things that the prospect filled out in their application. This will dramatically increase the show-up rates to the sales call. But the the first 4 steps will dramatically increase your show rate to the webinar itself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it. Feel free to test these out and comment below how much of an increase you saw in your webinar show-up rates. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I also hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.